says, and not just worries about Donald Trump's campaign losing, but the impact that it could have on all those other congressional Republican races. It's what they call the down ballot effect. And if you live in a place where there's a tight race right now congressionally, you are seeing this firsthand. NBC News senior political editor Beth Fouhy joins me right now. Beth, we got new numbers out today. Let's focus on Senate races first. Start with New Hampshire. The new WBUR poll. Clinton is up 15 points if you look at it as a four-way race. What's that going to do to New Hampshire?
Well, here's the thing, Kate. The sort of overall big story is that the presidential race always drives what happens in those down ballot races. Right. Senate, Congress, governor. Most voters don't ticket split. Most voters don't pick a president of one party and then go for congressional representative.
Right. People go all the way down the line.
They go all the way down the line, and even more today than, say, 20 years ago, because we lived in a much more polarized political environment than we did back then. So the chances of ticket splitting are much less. That's why this is so significant in New Hampshire. It's supposed to be a battleground state for the presidential race, perhaps still might be. But if Clinton is winning by 15 points, that has a huge impact on the Senate race there, where Senator Kelly Ayotte, Republican, is being challenged by the governor of the state, Maggie Hassan. It was supposed to be a race for the ages, but now in that same WBUR poll, Maggie Hassan is leading Kelly Ayotte by 10 points, in part because of that Trump effect that you mentioned.
She also had a really strong ad that's been running
up there.
She did.
She had a strong ad. We're talking about Governor Hassan. She ran a strong ad earlier in the campaign that was very well received, talking about care for her disabled child. This is a particularly impactful ad now because, of course, there's that ad that the Clinton campaign is running showing Donald Trump making fun of a disabled reporter, and that, too, has had a very big impact. So people are aware of those issues of treating people with disability with respect.
Yeah. Okay, Pennsylvania, the state that Trump thinks that he can win. He talks about it all the time. New Franklin and Marshall poll, Clinton's up 11 points
there.
Bad news for Senator Toomey.
Right. Senator Pat Toomey, he, too, is a Republican seeking to go back into the Senate. He's being challenged by Katie McGinty, a Democrat. She used to be in the Clinton administration, raising a lot of money, pretty well respected. That's made that race a lot closer, too. Pat Toomey is very well liked and respected among sort of the Chamber of Commerce world of Republicans. He is now in a bit of trouble because of that Trump effect. Trump is pulling him down.
And lastly, Florida. We always got to talk about Florida. Everybody knows who Marco Rubio is.
Right. Well,
he's trying to keep his seat.
He is. And as we know, he jumped back into that Senate race at the very last second. He had planned to retire after his poorly received Republican run for the presidency. He was going to go into the private sector. He decided to get in the last minute, and that was a really big relief for Republicans because there's a good chance he can hang on to that seat. The poll that was released today shows him ahead of the two Democrats vying to challenge him, Pat Murphy and Alan Grayson. That, of course, could change. And again, if Trump starts to do really, really badly in Florida, it's going to weigh on Rubio.
Suffolk University poll, Clinton 48, Trump 42 right now. So,
and that's very bad news for Republicans at the presidential level because it's very hard for a Republican to win the presidency without carrying Florida.
Beth Fouhy, thanks so much for breaking it down for us. Appreciate it a lot.